Hello and welcome to the M0 OGY radio and antenna review of the new President George II. This is the first George II to land in England, and I'm lucky enough to be reviewing it today. So a little bit of history on the original George, which we'll look at first. That's an original President George. These was made around 1992 to 93 and was one of the first, if not the first, multi-norms AM, FM and single sideband transceiver. It's highly regarded, and back in the day, along with the first President Lincoln, this was the flagship radio for GPE, President Electronics. So that's 30 years ago, and things have moved on. So this is the new radio. Again, it's a multi-norms radio. Comes well packaged. We'll have a look round the what comes with the radio in a few moments. So the radio spec, it comes as a 40 channel AM FM single sideband transceiver with 4 watts AM and 4 watts FM output power, and 12 watts single sideband PEP. It operates from the 26.965 MHz to 27.405 MHz, and also as it's a multi-norms radio, it has the UK 40 FM, the offset channels for the United Kingdom. On the front we've got RF power settings. There's the patented President auto squelch. There's a talkback feature. There's Vox. You've got filters, A&L, noise blanker and high cut. As this radio isn't built by our friends at Uniden, it's made in China. It's not got the Murata filter as the earlier President Grant II had in the later incarnation of that. Got dimmer facility, multiple Roger bleeps, quite an interesting new development. It's got CT, CSS tones, 38 of those, DCS, 104 codes, and this one is only a 12 volt radio. It's not like some of the AM FM sets that's 12 and 24 volts. And one of the interesting features, which seems a big thing in this day and age, it's got an extremely effective noise reduction circuit, and you can change the colours on the screen. It's got 7 colours, so we'll have a look at that in a moment. Size wise, it's 185 millimeters wide by 172 millimeters deep by 56 millimeters high. Similar size to the earlier Grant II. I think it's slightly narrower, and when you look at it compared to the original George stood next to it, it's probably 2/3 the size. And the weight is stated at 1.190 kilograms. It does feel, lifting it around, it feels quite heavy compared to some of the other modern radios, and I had quite a shock when I lifted it. I thought it had a bit of meat to it. It's when you're on the German band, the D band, it's got a repeater function for a relay, so it has got, you can use it on repeaters. Preset frequencies. It's got on your emergency, it's got preset frequencies for that. and 19, etc. It does come ROSH 2 compliant and comes with the President 2 plus 3 year warranty. So that's sort of some of the specs. We'll have a look round it now. If we can scan in a little on the front panel. So on your left hand side you've got the on-off volume and squelch. You've got the key beeps on it, you can turn that off in the menus luckily, which I will be doing. You've got your volume and volume on the outside, squelch control on the back, and auto squelch at the bottom. At the moment it's set on channel 38 lower sideband, so you'll hear a lot of FM hiss. 6-pin microphone socket, as most or all Presidents are. So you've got a 6-pin microphone socket with a standard electric condenser microphone, quite light in weight, but you can use the new President Digimic on this one. It is compatible. There's a small socket there for your USB type cable. I believe it's around 5 watts, no 1 amp, sorry, it's 5 volts. 5 volts and 1 amp under that cover, that green cover. So moving along, you've got your mode. These are multi buttons. You've got mode, PA, memories, CT, CSS and DCS memories again, scan facility, skip, high cut filters, A&L and noise blanker. Got RF gain and a monitor facility even. You've got a Vox button, echo. These are all multi-functions. The one that probably everyone's interested in, that's your NRC, your noise reduction circuit. A couple of controls up there, lock, etc. You can push that to enter the menus. You've got your channel change. Clarifier, I think that one is at the bottom. Yeah, clarifier. So you've got a clarifier there for single sideband. So that's a look round the front panel. It's got quite a large screen. You've got your S meter, your frequency readout, your channel readout. It's reading what it's pulling off the power supply. In this case it's 12.6 volts, and EU is currently in the mid-band EU mode as it came. One thing I did note, when it came it had a very thin screen protector on the front panel, and I thought it was scratched. It wasn't. I took that off and it's absolutely perfect. So if you get one and it don't panic, it does come off, but you have to very carefully peel it off. I have saved it on a bit of polythene, but it looks a lot better without it on, that's a fact. So looking the fascia on the radio, it's chrome plated, and I really do think that's a good feature. It sort of stands out and I like it. It's got the top cover, it's got President inscription. I don't know if you can see that on the top cover. It's got President embossed into it, pressed into it. So all in all, yeah, looks very tidy, looks nicely made. I previously said it has a very good feel to it, weight wise. That's the box it comes in. Behind it, I will move some of this so we can have a bit better look at the radio. There's a bit too much going on, I must admit. But that's the box behind it, the President box. Nothing much different there. It comes with a President microphone, There's a black bracket, I'll show you that now. There's a bag of fixtures and fixings that come with it. Thumb screws, self tappers, some rubber covers so not to scratch the casings. And it comes, if I can get it out okay. That's the bracket, just a black painted coated steel bracket with adjustments for your thumb screw, so it's just a standard sort of thing. So that's the bracket that comes with a transceiver. It comes also with the President sticker, as they all do, and a multi-language manual, which is fairly comprehensive in the operation of it. This manual is available on the GPE President Electronics website to either download. It's always easier to look at, and if you want to keep that in good condition, that's what it comes with in the box. So we'll have a look round in a moment, around the back of it, and a few other things. One thing I'm going to do prior to having a look inside it, one thing I did note, as indeed the original President George has, it's got warranty stickers on the side, so if you do happen to modify it, which I'll go into in a moment, it does have some black warranty stickers on it, so if you break them it's at your own risk. But I strongly recommend any export mode modifications are done by, you know, a competent retailer who sells you the radio. And there is two ways to do the mod, which is pretty straightforward and basic really, but one does require a soldering iron. So we'll have a look around the back of it next. Right, this is the George 2's rear panel. You've got quite a large heatsink. Got your antenna socket there. The serial number you can just see is there, President made in the Republic of China, George 2. And this one is serial number 33. That's number 33, this one. So I've got a very early one to try and keep and see where we go with it on air next. So that's your rear panel. Yeah, it's got the casing is made of steel. It's pressed steel, it's not plastic. Yeah, it's got a steel casing. Try and get it in view. There's the warranty seals I was talking about. There's one on each side. The chrome bezel. Yeah, it looks pretty on the front there. Just make sure you peel the polythene off, because it doesn't look as pretty with that one. So that's the front panel. We don't get it the right way around. That's your top panel. Underneath, speaker grill. Seems to be quite a few air slots in the side, which will let you in the common sticker that's been on them for the last 30 plus years, warning you to wire it up correctly, else it'll blow up. So that's the back panel. Yeah, it's got a bit of weight in it. Nice to have the chrome surround as well, I feel. Looks a bit better than just black. So that's a look around the back panel of the radio, and we'll be back in a moment. Maybe tell you a little bit about what the radio can do in export mode. Right, so I'm back. Anyway, so as it stands, I'm going to leave this in the legal, multi-norm spec mode for myself, and do quite a few on-air tests through the Vortex Quasar Q82 and see how we get on, and that's what it's all about. People want to hear how it operates and how it works and the noise reduction, etc. So that's how I'm going to leave it. So I might open it up at some point, but not yet. So, and I'm a bit dubious about the warranty seals as well, so I'm going to try it first on air before I go inside to show what the board's like. Talking of the board, the radio is made in the Republic of China by the people behind Anytone, who make some really good radios. They make their own brand. They do a lot for President. They make some awesome radios at the moment, so that's nothing to be worried about. There's been a bit on the internet, a few images of the circuit board, and indeed it does look very similar to the other boards, but I feel it looks like it's better designed. It's got a lot more shielding around the PA stage, and it's got an awful lot more features in this radio. When it's in the sort of multi-norm mode, it's a bit like I guess a super bike running at 60 miles an hour. It's got far more to offer, this radio, once you mod it, if that's what you want to do. But obviously this does probably don't void the warranty as such if a dealer does this, but it does, it's not non-compliant then, so you do so at your own risk. But I will say what it can do. So there is an export mod, and the images that's online, if you see them, I'll probably show it anyway when I take the covers off in another video. But in export mod, so there's a wire which you can cut and move a jumper, and if you do it that way, it's got 10 watts on AM, 10 watts on FM, and 35 watts on single sideband. The other way to do it, it's no different looking at it to me as the President, the small President I tested beginning of the year, the AM FM version. It's just the same. You move a wire basically, rather than cut the wire, you move the jumper, and there's another point where you have to solder the wire in, but you do have to desolder and resolder it on. So along with the warranty stickers, I strongly recommend, if you want to go that route, you get the supplying dealer to do it. Why wouldn't you? You certainly, most competent people with soldering iron could do it, but there's no point causing an issue with the warranty. So that's it. It's on the circuit board. It's not, you ain't got to plug a computer in or anything. It's pretty straightforward, both mods. If you remember, in the previous Lincoln, there was it a 1K resistor you soldered in? I remember when that came out, I did that myself. So there's various ways, you've got to do something, so that's the way anyway. So yes, there's two ways, but it's not too difficult really. Right, so once you've had that done, it's 540 channels. It operates from 24.715 megahertz to 30.105 megahertz in the typical pyramid President pyramid band plan of 12 bands of 40 from A to J, so from A band to J band. The pyramid system, you can alter it in the menus. There's a lot in the menus. It's have to take some getting used to, this one. So yeah, it operates from 24.715 to 30.105, all modes. It once you've opened it up, it's got split frequencies. You access that through the NRC button. You can alter the names on the band. It's got a power limit function, so you can have that when it's opened up. You can have that off, so it's full power. You can have it in what's called A4, which is the power limited to 4 watts, and A0, which is the power limited to 10 watts. And this is mainly if you use a linear amplifier. You know, there's many a tale, certainly locally around here, where people blow linears up, putting more than 10, 20, 50 watts into them. So that's what that's all about. So it has that feature, so that's a good idea, I feel. Also, it's got a TO and a T5 function, and that basically means you can move, you know, in steps from, you know, either 0s or 5s, so you know it'll work anywhere. It also, another good feature, again this is on when it's opened up, when it's had the mods. None of this works in multi-norm mode, obviously. It's got the alpha channel, so it shows a little alpha sign, and these work in each band, and there are 5 I think in each band, and they're located, the alpha channels, between 3 and 4. Channel 3 and 4, channel 7 and 8, channel 11 and 12, channel 15 and 16, and finally channel 19 and 20. I'm not too sure about that one, as it's close to a calling channel. You know, you're sort of in the middle of a channel, aren't you? So I'm not sure, but it's got it there anyway. And whenever that's active, it does show an alpha emblem on the screen. So you know, it lights up on the second digit of the screen. So that's a little bit about the export mods. It's possible, and I'm sure probably 85% of these will be used, you know, in export mode. Power output, as I say, it does. It'll do 35 watts, and it's you know, 35 watts FM as well if you move the wire. Whether it'll quite do that, it might be more closer to 25, 30 on FM, but it's still a good output power, and that's why it's got the, you know, large heatsink on the back to cool it down. That's a little bit more about it. So in the upcoming videos by myself, I will be putting it on the antenna this week, just hope there's maybe some conditions or some local stations on. It's been a long time coming, this radio. In fact, this one's been a long time coming. It's took a full 7 days. Got stuck in customs due to something it needed signing or something. Anyway, cut a long story short, it came this morning. To my knowledge, it's the first one in England. They have started sending them out. I think some's gone over to Switzerland. They're in limited supply. I believe this there's going to be a few in the shops for the middle or end of September this year, 2023. So there's going to be some in another couple of 3 weeks in the shops. And then I think the next batch probably towards the end of the year. So there will be in limited supply. Cost wise, people are estimating between what do you reckon, 280 and 350, 60 pounds UK. That seems about right. I'm thinking it'll be between 3 and 350 pounds, but we'll see. So that's a brief look of the new President George II transceiver. It's got a lot of features, and if it's got any tie-ups with a circuit board inside to the radios, you know what, you know, like the Superstar 3900, the Anytone Aries 2, there's is it CRT 7900V, is it, Turbo V? The boards do look similar, This one does look, they're not identical, and as I said earlier in the video, there's a lot more shielding round the PA stage. If I decide to take the covers off and modify it for myself, I'm quite happy to show that, nothing to hide here. But my main thing was to get it out there so you can have a look round it, and in the upcoming videos it'll be on air, and we'll see how it goes. So on that note, thanks for watching the video. Best 73 from Dave, M0OGY 26 Alpha Tango 025, and please feel free to comment, like and subscribe. Catch you on the next one. Bye bye.